So,
You do that, Chris. We're counting on you.
that's right, because I don't know how the heck to do it, so we are counting on it.
We're making it up as we go.
There you go.
The organization's been in existence how long?
5
Well,
years.
in March 30th of next year will be 5 years. So
Gotcha.
Do you
Yeah.
have a Gary,
Hmm?
do you have a sheet for today's
agenda.
agenda?
I'm going on 3 years, and it seems like I've been here forever.
I've got one that I've got to have, but
No extra copies.
do you have an extra copy of the agenda?
I do.
Okay. There you go.
Really? Bethany's going, don't look at me.
I had to go all the way
Not
up
my
to Whitman
job.
just to get the last ballot today.
Yeah, living out there in the boonies.
Yeah, well, I'm not in Buckeye
We're
now,
not,
so
we're getting our mail out in the booth, but somebody's preemptive, I guess.
I don't like changing mailboxes. It's like,
You got to get
Be
our
done
mail. We Whitman, we Buckeye.
All right.
Makes perfect
So
sense.
what I have right now is we have 11 active members that are physically present here and 9 by proxy. So that's going to be 20 total.
Okay.
So we needed 10. We're doubling.
We're good.
We're good.
Yeah. All right. And we have
Thank you, those proxies.
what, 4
Yep.
board members?
and then we got,
Yeah,
let's
we're only
see,
missing Tim.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 joining us on the Google meeting.
Do you have
Otherwise,
a
Yeah. Can you tell me who they are so I can get them logged on here?
let's see here. I'll write it all down here.
Face of our new world. Faceless.
SIP school's been online since the beginning of school. I think they went to school 2 whole weeks.
And for those on the Google meeting, if somebody wants to speak, and we should be able to hear you, I believe.
I got a note saying they're gonna continue online.
Can you hear me, Chris?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, and by the way, it's working fine on YouTube as well.
Excellent, thank you.
Wow. I hear Rich in the heavens. That's cool, Rich.
I'm here.
Makes it a whole lot easier in a recording
Wow.
studio to capture everything.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Super creepy.
Yeah, don't get nervous, everybody. You're only being watched by 10 million pixels.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
10 million of my cat? That's creepy.
Hello?
Who dat?
Hello.
We found a credit card out there. We didn't really want to come all the way back here, but
Not mine.
OMG. I was gonna say, it was yours. Oh.
Check to see if it's got a good balance on it.
What's
That
mean pizza for everybody?
You better check here. No, I got mine.
Has it got Frank's name on it?
What's the name?
I think it was
Is
a
there a
Jesse.
Jesse S. Bennett in the building?
Oh.
He's buying pizza.
Yeah.
Negatory.
Oh,
So
boy.
if there's a Jesse Bennett on YouTube, we have found your credit card.
There you go.
Do you have who's on there yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Do we have their call signs?
No. Actually, I got one.
Oh, I should have brought my list.
I printed one, but it's on my printer at home. I was running out the door with a repeater.
Yeah, I need to pull up that list.
I can probably pull it up and email one.
Okay.
So all the
pictures.
streaming is good,
We're good
ready to go.
for now.
All right.
Actually, we probably even have more on here that just not showing. That's what it shows. Okay.
1:30 here in just a second.
Yep. Just about there.
Okay, so basically, there are a couple of people watching virtually, but they also are under proxy. So I can't count them twice. So the proxies, there's 9, there's 11 physically here, and technically 2 attending virtually.
Right.
So,
Or on that meeting, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
so that's 22.
Jeff 533 might be
He's under proxy.
on a proxy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got him a proxy.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay, let's see.
And Carl Reitz just joined.
Who?
Carl,
Carl? What's the last initial?
REITZ.
Find him later. Cool. So that brings us up to 3 virtual. He doesn't have a proxy with anybody, so. Okay. I think that's as good as everything is going to get for the moment.
Okay, I guess we should get going then. We'll call the meeting to order, the general meeting and the board meeting for the Arizona GMRS Repeater Club. And we sure appreciate Adam and his dad for hosting us here today. It's a fantastic looking place here. If you haven't been here, it's really something else. So we appreciate that. But we still kind of miss Denny's too, because Denny's has some things like
Food.
food,
You hear that, Adam?
and
I'm find a bag of chips somewhere. That's the best I can do.
Better be a big bag of chips.
And you had to give that credit card away.
and B, food, and then there's C. Of course, we maybe Rich is online, but we miss his jokes that he throws in there at the meeting every once in a while. So
Yes.
can't miss that. But yeah, we've been going to Denny's for quite a while now, and maybe things will get back to normal in this coming year, and hopefully we can get things going again in kind of a somewhat normal way. So we don't have a flag, so no Pledge of Allegiance, and we have a quorum. I think
We do. For both.
Desiree has already indicated we have a quorum for both, and I'm going to throw it out there. We're going to have need to approve the minutes for the general meeting held on September 19th of this year. And so does anybody would like to move to, okay, we have a motion, second. We have 2 seconds.
Mikey
and,
Chris.
Who made the motion?
I did.
You did? Okay.
And any discussion? No, I didn't think so. Okay, so all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, very good. And now we need to keep in mind, because everybody has during the COVID thing, so we have our masks on. So Desiree has to keep the minutes, so we might have to repeat something for her. So we just got to keep that in mind. And now we've got the president's report. I think I have to do that. So we've got the annual meeting. I'm hearing myself somewhere. Okay. During the annual meeting, we always sum up the year that has gone by and look forward to the new year. So in our last meeting, we spoke about the increases in the number of GMRS licensees that we've had in Arizona. And as we look at the numbers, we see that this has continued. It's still increasing. December 1st of last year, there were 1,596 licensed GMRS operators in the state. And on December 1st of this year, there are 2,785 licensees. That's an increase of 1,189 during the year. So it's a pretty good increase. And of course, we've got a lot of people out there that are not licensed as well that we'd like to get them licensed.
Could you
But
repeat the increased number, please?
well, the increased number is 1,189,
Perfect, thank you.
but that's on the sheet here, so you'll have that. So between November 1st and December 1st of this year, the increase was 120 in just 1 month of new licensees. So the majority of those are new licensees. They're not renewals. So we're still getting quite an increase. So that's looking pretty good. And then we're also seeing more new members joining the club. And as of our last meeting in September, we had 130 members. Now we have 148 members. So it's continuing to kind of a steady increase. And we've got, that includes 3 life members and 2 associate members in there too. So we're doing good on that. And we welcome all the new members and we hope to hear them on the air. We're also seeing, well, at our last meeting, I spoke of one of our primary drives and the emphasis we've had in the club. And we talked about that a little bit last time. And this time, I think with the number of members increasing on a regular basis, that the emphasis needs to change a little bit from trying to get new members all the time to doing more to serve the members that we do have. So, maybe more activities as that becomes possible, more training, more information, that kind of thing. Getting more stuff on the website, that kind of thing. So I think that would help out. And I asked in the last meeting if anybody had any suggestions or ideas in how to engage our members and keep them active and that kind of thing. So does anybody come up with any ideas on that?
I actually have one, surprisingly.
Mhm.
So if we want to do some kind of sign up sheet or something on the website for people to do like a presentation or something
Mhm.
of something that they specialize in or that they know that's related to GMRS, that might drive more engagement because I know that each member kind of specializes in something a little more than the other. Like somebody might know
Mhm.
more about antennas and what
Right.
antennas are good. Somebody might know something about directional finding and stuff like that. So
Sure.
if they, if they can specialize and like give tips to everyone and do those presentations, then maybe we have more strength in numbers and people driving interest towards those things, and then that sparks more interest in the events as well. So
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. I like that one.
okay.
Any other ideas? Yeah.
I was going to say, along her lines too, we could, I think we could hold classes. I hear from a lot of on the net, particularly a lot of people saying, well, I'm new to this now. Classes on exactly what GMRS is, how it works. Obviously, we don't have to get too technical, but maybe some of the technical aspects. I think that along with, I'd like to see a programming day. Everybody has programming skills as far as the radios go.
Mhm.
Everybody would, put the kind of radios they can program up. And if you have that kind of radio, you can sign up for the class. And I think, I don't know how many have their programs on laptops, but everybody bring their laptops and
Right.
the other half brings their radios and everybody gets them programmed at once and, together.
I really like that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm sorry, who are you?
Bob, WRCM 701.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
It's even harder with a mask.
Yeah.
on.
I know. But
Skeletal.
yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. And I was thinking maybe even one time a few years back we had a person. He's a he's an EE. He's an electrical engineer, and he brought he has a service monitor and all this equipment. He brought it to one of our meetings and let everybody test their equipment and see, is it really on frequency, and what kind of power it's actually putting out, not just like, in the specs, but the actual power it's putting out and this kind of thing. So maybe something like that, and maybe even kind of include that on that programming day as well, so we could get all that done and on one day. So yeah,
Yeah,
a good idea.
I had another idea too, and I don't know, I mean, we would have to ask Tim if this is something that him and Randy would be interested in, but maybe like a day during the weekend where Procom is offering stuff to new members and things like that. Maybe,
Mhm.
time and place that we could gather together.
Yeah.
Because anybody that's, needing equipment of any type, that's a great time to get outfitted and get educated at the same time.
They don't sell Midlands.
You're right.
There won't be anybody buying it because nobody wants to buy anything but Midlands.
Oh boy. Okay. Anybody else have any other ideas or suggestions or anything on that? Okay.
That's a good one.
I guess to go back to the growth that
Mhm.
you spoke of, do you have any context of like the growth that you're talking about? I think that's Arizona.
Right.
Do you have any context of versus national? Is it?
It's growing nationally as well.
So do we know
Yeah.
why that is? Because that might dovetail into what you might have for special classes. Or...
Well, I think there are several reasons, but one of them that's been talked about is the fact with the COVID, as well as other situations going on, like unrest in a lot of cities, and concern about that, and a worry about maybe we're going to need to people are going to need to really use their two-way radio to keep in contact because other systems might be overloaded or go down or something. And I think that is driving a lot of it.
So then if there would be something, they want something more than like family radio service. They want more wattage, they want repeater, but they're not of all this growth, how many of them might want to be going into like amateur radio? That's probably not as much. It's mostly just coming off of
A
family
lot
radio.
of it is. A lot of it is. Of course, we do have a lot of ham operators who actually
Yes.
become one of our members as well. So it's just they like to have the additional capabilities that of having ham and GMRS. Because when you have ham, every single person has to be licensed. But when you are on GMRS, you can license a whole family. So it's
You
different.
are-
Jim,
Jim, thanks. Sorry.
And to go along with that,
709. If that
Perfect. Thank you.
to go along with that, started about 5 years ago when we started the club. GMRS was a dying breed, and then the clubs started popping up all of a sudden, one after another across the nation, and just renewed the interest in GMRS. And then as people are looking for, like I said, other means to communicate, or in cell phones or whatever else is going on, it's really taken off in the last year or so because of with COVID.
Yep.
Like I say, I think one thing people don't realize, it is a law enforcement tactic that if they have a certain area they're having problems, they will take that down or take over the cell phone system, which will make it just totally inoperable. And I know the federal government has in operation a plan where they can walk into a cell site, insert their own software, and just take over the cell site so only certain phones work.
They don't even have to go anymore.
They do have a priority system. You're absolutely right. And if there's if law enforcement needs to communicate, or the government, then guess who else goes down to the bottom of the list?
Yeah,
we do. So that's what happens. Yeah. So
I'll comment on that. So the last 2 years, when I took over as vice president, so I've been trying to, as soon as we get an application, I try to make, I hate this thing. I try to make contact with an email, hopefully steer them in the right direction so they don't spend money on radios that aren't going to work on our system. So it's actually, and I'll bet you that I get probably a 95% return on those emails. Almost everybody answers back about something. And I would say that probably over the biggest majority of them actually say, because of the pandemic, they're run on toilet paper, They just envision things as getting worse. And so a lot of them are only looking for alternative communication. And a great number of them are also looking at getting their amateur license down the road someplace, so.
I completely fall into that category. I got into it as an alternate communication for cell phone service going down, and GMRS is the perfect stepping stone to amateur radio.
Yeah.
And you are.
I'm 513 Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
And that's exactly my story as well. I had a GMRS license many years ago. We used it mainly for camping and things like that. But then I decided that I wanted to, for all the reasons we mentioned.
Right.
And one of the items for me for GMRS is because my family, my wife is not, she's not as into it.
Right.
What they can be licensed, my daughter, and I have the exact progression.
Desiree,
I'm trying to get my
479.
license next, and so that's exactly why.
479.
Yeah.
What's nice
Joe,
about the
479.
GMRS is it's a family license as opposed to an amateur
Right.
individual with an amateur license.
Right. Yeah.
So I wanted to cover both bases that way.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat. They do as well. So. Yep.
So on the suggestion about training on what GMRS is, probably goes without saying, but what would be really, I think, helpful is on what it isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that gives you context.
Well, I'm working on a kind of a matrix. I have a couple projects going, but one is part of it is a matrix that has like, okay, this FRS, GMRS, ham radio, and it will show, okay, each one has these different capabilities, and working on that. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, anybody else?
Only thing I'll add to all that, especially with the alternative communications and your prime example of it, of being involved, is a lot of people will join, not touch the radios, not test them, not get to know their equipment. And then when the time comes, it fails for them because they don't know how to use it. So being involved is excellent. And I really encourage anybody watching the stream later or whatnot, the recordings, if
And
you're
that's
new.
the biggest point of the net.
Yeah.
Make sure your radio equipment is working, you're getting in. If you have a problem, obviously it can be detected by other stations or operators, and you take care of it.
Exactly, because you want to know it's going to work when you need it.
Yep. That is absolutely right. Okay, so we got a couple of good ideas there, and that's excellent. So next, talk about some of the things that we did manage to accomplish over the year. We held the RDF Challenge at the White Tanks Park, and everybody had a great time up there. The winner was Jeff, WQZZ 533. Yeah, and he managed to find the Fox transmitter really fast. I mean, it was like record time. So he did really well there. So he won that one. And then later on, we had some time to kind of sit around and have a little chat and have a little discussion about things. And that was good too. Now we're looking for volunteers for the activity officer, as the position is now open. If anyone is interested, let me know. That's basically going to come into play more later on, I think, as things kind of hopefully get back to normal here and we get to have more activities and that type of thing. So we're looking for an activity officer. So let me know, send me email, and we'll get that set up for you.
You should put together a little scope for that, kind of like what it entails, expectations and such.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's activity officer is just basically someone who plans out the details of any activities that we're going to have during the year, and takes care of the details, which are not the ESG activities, but just regular activities of the club. So
Make sure we have pizza, drinks.
yeah, pizza, drinks, or cookout, or whatever, gotta have that stuff. So okay, so that is pretty much all I had. How about the vice president? You got something for us?
No, dude, you got another point. Go to the next page.
Huh?
You got another point.
It's good that he keeps me straight. You know what I mean? Okay. Oh, yes. This is important too, that we got a birthday coming up. So on March 30th of this coming year, we will be 5 years old. And that's a good thing because I think we should have a cake or something. I'm just saying. In March, don't you think? In March meeting. But the important thing is that Arizona law requires that when you have a nonprofit organization, you can't do any raffles and that kind of thing for 5 years. You have to be in existence for 5 years. I'm not entirely sure why that law is in existence, but it is. So once we turn 5, we can have raffles and this kind of thing, even online, as long as there's a requirement that the people have to be participating, have to be Arizona residents, but they can even be done online. So that will help the club. That'll help bring in some more funds into the club, as well as people can win. So, okay, now it's time for Mr. Vice President. What do you got?
Okay. Okay. First, I will provide the birthday cake for that meeting. I'll put that on the calendar. and I
Mark
will-
down chocolate right
I'm
there.
taking.
German chocolate.
Yeah, German
Oh,
chocolate.
All right.
there you go.
I will
There
take
you
care of
go.
that. You can put that in the meeting.
All
Okay. First off, we need net control people. I love doing it, but like next week, I'm going to have to ask somebody else to do it because I've got something I just can't get out of. So really, 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 really looking for some net control people. It's not that hard. Once you get over to do it a couple of times, it becomes second nature, and it's a lot easier to do after you've done it a couple of times. I know there's that fear of dealing with people on the radio. I know I've been there. So, but if anybody's interested, we can provide this script. So if you can read and push a button, you can do this. I know you can do this. So let me know if you're interested, and we'll get you involved in that. I want to bring up our, so we have different groups of membership. We have our zero amount fee for those that only pop in for a couple of weeks here and there, and that's fine. And we have our lifetime membership, and we have our regular membership. The one that I'm looking at, I've thought about this, and the one I'd like to see us get rid of is our transient membership. It just seems to me that back when our dues were $120 a year, I could see the transient membership, but we're down to $36 a year. The transient membership doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. There's not a whole lot of price difference. I've talked to Chris. Getting rid of it would just make everything so much easier as far as the organization goes. There's really no way to monitor whether or not they're in here for half a year or if they're in here for a full year. So, Chris.
And also, it's a lot of work to manage with the extra changing out tones on the mountain and everything that goes along with it.
Okay, well, we can look at, just remind me, and we'll get that. We can get that on the agenda for next meeting or something, and work on that.
Okay, so people think about that one.
Yeah.
Okay, and also, you sent me some emails. I was looking at electronic voting. We have to constantly go out with like the officer. Now we don't have to, it'll be 2 years before I have to do it again. But if we want to have more, electronic voting would make it a lot easier for a lot more people to get involved in voting and with the club stuff. Not only just for the one I happened to look up was name of the company. It's an online company. It costs like $89, but it has lots of features. You get receipts if you vote. You can only vote one. We provide we provide the people that are allowed to vote. I just think it would, and a lot of companies use them for not only for their officers' ballots, but they also use them for like club bylaws that require membership votes, that type of thing. it would just make it a whole lot easier for people to get involved as far as the voting and that of the club. So I think that's something we should be
Okay, yeah,
looking at,
again,
especially in this
yeah,
age of faceless meetings.
yeah, remind me, and we can get that on the agenda and work on that. Arizona state law does allow electronic voting. It has certain requirements, and the people who vote have to get a receipt and all this kind of stuff, but it could be done.
Yeah,
You
this
know.
company provides all of that.
Yeah.
It's also you get to put in. We can do the same thing. I like the way we did it this year. So we didn't wait till this meeting to say, hey, anybody want to be an officer? So
Mhm.
the fact that we said, hey, if you're interested, you want to run, let us know by this date. And then in reality, what we would do then is then create the vote. People could even have bios in there if they want, their pictures, so they know who they're voting for, that kind of thing. So I think it's just something to head towards in this faceless environment that we're living with.
Yeah.
Other than that, nope, I don't think anything else.
Okay. Some good ideas there as well. And then
Okay. Let's see. So we currently have a total of 148 members. 3 of them are life members, 2 are associates. 146 actual active voting members. There may potentially be more people that can vote, though, with people who have secondaries like spouses and things like that total. I know there is at least a couple of different applications that are currently pending approval right now that have not been made official yet. I don't know exactly how many. I want to say it might be 3, might be 2.
There's 2 regular and 2 transients.
Okay, so it's 4 right now.
okay.
So that's where we stand right now.
Okay. Very good.
And we have several that are still pending their PayPal payments from several months ago. And some of them, I'm going to give them their final reminder and then close those ones out.
Okay. And the treasurer's report.
Can I make a comment about that? Would you have any objection if I go through those pendings and send them an email?
I welcome it.
Huh?
I welcome it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me do that. Let's try that. Maybe they're seeing it from another email, and I'll just say, hey, just something. Hey, we really want to have you, but anything happen? Why aren't you paying, that type of thing? So I'll do that.
Okay. That sounds good. And the treasurer's report.
All right, 2 seconds. I was not prepared for that so fast. Just updating online. Can't see if I spelled that right because the text is so small. Okay, treasurer's report. So last year we ended our year with $4,045.90 in our account after all our expenses were paid for the year. This year, we end at $5,354.15. Of that, 144 is currently in PayPal, 4902.15 is in checking, 308 is in cash. Our white tanks is our only recurring bill at $292.33, which has gone down since now I'm having the bill go to my new address in Whitman, and the tax for that is lower. So there's positive for that. So with our current funds, we have, if we don't take in another penny right now, we can go 18 months paying for the repeater. And of course, we expect new members and renewals. So we are looking good in that sense. And that's all I have for the treasurer's report right now.
Questions? So you're in a calendar year, your fiscal year is calendar year?
Yeah, calendar.
And so your expenses are like $300 a month?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the revenues this year were at least that, or?
That I don't have offhand. Normally I'd have a QuickBooks P&L statement, but I'm in the middle of moving right now, and everything's just upside down.
And those revenues are basically the annual dues.
And every once in a while, we'll get a person who wants to be a life mentor, which brings in more funds, of course. But it's basically dues. Yeah.
Yeah, and the only other expenses we ever have is maybe our once a year. What is it? We have it's like $50. There's a fee we have to pay once a year.
Oh, the corporation commission fee? Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
To
Is it
submit the report.
50? Because I only pay 10 for another organization I belong to that's a nonprofit.
Yeah, there was something in there. I know the for IRS that doesn't cost any. Maybe that's the $10 one, but we don't have really any other expenses other than
No.
that.
Unless you have like some activities or something like that where you.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there's one thing we're going to talk about here in a little while about linking. And
So your revenues you mentioned went way down. They used to be a lot higher. Is that because you don't of the number of participants?
well, we've had a lot more people joining, and then with the repeater bill going down has helped as well because that saved 20 something dollars. I can't remember what it is offhand.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah. So, and then we also have a lot of people who have very generously in the past who have some people have donated, some people have just there's an expense for something and they'll just take care of it, and donate it to the club. So that has helped out too. So.
Yeah, that got us
Yeah.
through those beginning times.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. And did you have anything else, or?
That's it on the treasurer side of stuff.
Okay. So we're looking good there. Communications officer report. I don't think.
Tim?
Well, Matt, but
Matt.
Tim.
He's online.
Matt is online.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, hi, I'm here. Yeah, I'll just say that I'm not going to seek re-election for it. I just don't have as much time to dedicate, but still going to renew my membership with the club. I'll still be a regular member. Still enjoy the meetings and everything.
Okay. Well, we really appreciate that. I mean, I appreciate everything you've done. And did you have anything for the report, or?
No, I don't. I haven't been listening too often to the repeater as of late, so nothing to report from me. Apologize.
Okay, and then when did you? Well, do you want to wait till the presentation time to do the?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do the. Chris is going to show us the repeater and talk a little bit about the linking project that we have here in a little bit. Well, I appreciate that, Matt.
Can I make one comment about the communications
Yes,
aspect?
sir.
So I'm pretty avid. As far as monitoring, I if I'm in my office or anything most of the day, I'm monitoring just to hear what's going on. And I've got to say that even with the new members, everybody's doing really well as far as identification goes. Sometimes even a little bit over. And I've also in some of these emails I've gotten back, I think some of them I've been able to resolve some issues because they in some of the emails they'll mention things about radios that they happen to have that
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, thank you for not using them, and that one's a hard one for me to approach because they'll give me this information. And then when you see the word Yesu in their message, you're going, they don't make GMRS radios. So, how do I approach this? So
Right.
I just try to approach it nicely and to see if they actually are using them and if they're using them for GMRS or just because they have a ham license that there happen to be in their vehicles and stuff like that. So, and most of them know they're not supposed to be using them. So that's actually really good. So.
Okay, sounds good. Well, let's see what else we got here. Now we have the media officer.
That would be me.
Yep.
Let me update this as media officer. So one thing we've been looking at doing is getting some videos made for the site. We haven't, with COVID, that slowed things down a little bit for us to make any of that happen. On the website, one of the things I've been wanting to do is all of our miscellaneous
My pen died. Thank you.
all of our miscellaneous officer positions, get those listed nice and neat with descriptions of what everybody's doing, contact info and stuff. So update that page. Website, and that's been running pretty smooth. No real issues there. So that's pretty much all we got right now.
Okay. Well, we'll have more for you to do.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
As far as the media itself goes, I find it a little tedious to get used to. I'm getting better at maneuvering around the web page, but it's rather unique to me.
Yeah, unique to me too, trying to find ways to have the public side and the membership side. There's websites that you can purchase the software that makes it a lot smoother, but they want a lot of money to do it. So what I've done is this is all open source that we're using, and we've modified it pretty heavily to make it work the way it's working, unfortunately.
It's a matter of reps, I do believe.
Yeah, it's just
I try to use it regularly and work my way around, get used to it. It will come to me eventually.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see what else we got here. ESG officer. Well, that's back to me again. So we managed to do a couple things over the year, and we did manage the communications exercise on July 5th, and that went really well. We did that in cooperation with the Phoenix 13 communications section, which are ham operators, and we had several objectives with this exercise, and our primary purpose was to demonstrate that GMRS stations and ham radio operators could work together in the relay of emergency communications, and it went well. We found that it does work. Having dual licensed operators and people in ESG is just the key. I mean, that really helps out, because what we did is we had someone, a simulated emergency message coming in from someone just using, well, we had one was from an FRS radio, another one from a GMRS radio. Both of them were running about 1 watt or so. And the FRS radio was received from our monitoring station on South Mountain from 13 miles away, and it was relayed to the Phoenix Emergency Operations Center by myself on a ham radio frequency. And then if someone has emergency communications, normal telephone systems are down, then we can get that message to the EOC. They can get it to the Phoenix Fire Department and send out help. Then we had a person with a GMRS radio that was also running 1 watt, and they were way up by about 32nd Street and Union Hills, and they also were able to contact South Mountain and get that message relayed as well. So we really appreciate the CERT team working with us, and I think that this is probably going to be an exercise that's going to turn into an annual deal.
I really enjoyed that exercise.
Yeah.
Working alongside the hams and everything. That worked out really well.
Yeah. So I think we're going to continue that once a year. As far as the ESG activations, it was kind of a slow year. As far as that goes, we only had about 3 activations. One was a weather activation earlier on in the year. Another was for the stay home shutdown that we had for the COVID deal, and we were in a precautionary activation then. And then the third was for recently a geomagnetic storm, which was a precautionary alert, but that storm turned out to not being as intense as was forecast. So that was
Really
a
let
good
me
thing.
down. I was looking for a nice Carrington event.
Right. Yeah, that's just what we need. That's just what we need.
Wouldn't that be the perfect finish to?
Yeah,
2020?
Well, that don't
Let's just blast ourselves
even
back to the
say
stone
that
age.
We are
because
out yet,
that
so.
could happen.
What's the threshold for activation, or what constitutes?
Well, we have in our emergency procedure, we have a kind of a matrix that shows us, okay, if this happens, then the initial response is a certain, we have 4 levels of activation. And it tells us, okay, well, like a weather activation would be level 3 initially, unless it requires more, and that type of thing. A geomagnetic storm, if we have a G3 level from NOAA, then we activate in a precautionary alert and just let everybody know. And then if it's higher and a geomagnetic storm would be worse, then we would also, activate our level at a higher level. So, we have a procedure that's just a couple pages, right?
Have a nice thick binder.
Yeah. Well, it's about 50 pages. So we have information in there that kind of leads us where we need to go a little bit. Okay. I think that's all I've got for that. And then we don't have an activity officer reports. We're still looking for an activity officer. And I know people are just on the edge of their seat, just wanting to go for that and
That
volunteer
is the
for
one
that.
position we've always had trouble
I
finding
know,
somebody
I
for.
know. Even from the first, I don't know. But and the membership committee report, Tim is not here, and basically we had a plan that Tim came up with, and we're going to send out postcards to newly licensed operators and try to, ask them, see if they want to get into the club, kind of promote it a little bit. But then we started seeing how many new members there were every month. And we decided maybe that was going to be a little bit costly. So now that the FCC is going to be requiring people to put in an email in their application starting at some point in this new year, then we may have another way to contact people and try to promote it with sending them an
that
email,
would make it nice.
and be much less cost. So we're gonna try that, and that is basically all I have as far as the membership committee. And then we have the awards ceremony and the presentation, and I'll do the awards first, and then you can do the presentation on the repeater and everything. So a certificate of appreciation. I don't think either one of them are here today, so they'll be mailed to them. But a certificate of appreciation is being awarded to Michael Miyoshi for his very generous donation of a repeater and a handheld to the club. And we really appreciate that a great deal. And also a certificate is being awarded to Ryan Carlisle for relaying a message via GMRS to the Forest Service about a wildfire that started up in August near Sheep's Bridge.
Who was that? I'm sorry, the second person.
Ryan, and the last name is Carlisle.
362.
Yeah, Karylyle. And he's being awarded a certificate for that, for being a good emergency communicator and relaying that message through so that it got to the Forest Service, and both of them are very much appreciated. The first goal for 2021, and well, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the goals, and then you can do the repeater deal and the linking. So the goals, the first goal is to put 2020 in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
And that's our first goal right there. Then We have some more goals, though, believe it or not, for the upcoming year. Some of these have already been approved by the board for 2020, but because of everything that happened, we couldn't manage it. We couldn't make them happen. So one goal we did have in the 2019 annual meeting was I had a goal of 110 members. So we have reached that, and we've gone beyond that. So that's great. We're going to try to get that by the end of 2020. So we've gone past that.
That seemed like a stretch at the time.
It did. It really, it kind of seemed like, well, I'm going to go for it anyway.
Yeah, we were having right about 100, just under
Yeah.
95 there for a while, and it was like,
Y'all remember when we couldn't get past 35?
Oh, yeah, I know. It's really, really changed a lot.
It was a long
that's
Yeah.
when we blasted those postcards out to everybody.
Yeah.
It was literally like 35, 32, 35, 32, 30. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. I know. We were just a little club there for a while, but that has changed. And another thing we want to do for increasing membership is to, as I mentioned, it's to send emails out to new licensed GMRS operators once that information is available from the FCC. When we can get out there and the Hamfest start up again, we want to, like we've done before, have a presence out there at the Hamfests. And we a lot of times we've had the trailer out there, and we're all set up with a booth and try to promote the club there. So, and that has been pretty useful. So, and then we want to develop a video for promoting the club.
Do you guys do any involvement at the state fair for advertising?
State fair. We haven't done that as of yet.
I haven't been to the state fair in years. I fear for my life.
I mean, honestly,
I'd rather not get stabbed
the
with
state
just
fair
me.
is awful compared to where I grew up.
Yeah, I listened to DPS radio during that time, and it's like, ooh, another stabbing, another stabbing, another stabbing.
Yeah,
That's why I don't go
crazy.
anymore. It was that bad back when I was like 17. There's no way I would go now. I wouldn't go anywhere near there. Forget it.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, it used to be a good idea for a lot of organizations would have a booth there and have a presence at the state fair, but it's kind of changed a little bit. So, okay, membership activities. So we want to now some of this was already approved by the board, but again, we couldn't actually make them happen because of COVID and everything that was happening. And one of those is safety breaks and club promotion at interstate rest areas.
Yeah, I'd love to do that one.
Yeah, and I've done this before many years ago when I was the president of a REACT team, and we did that at the rest breaks, and we had a lot of good response doing that. So, of course it's a safety break, and what we do is you have free coffee, free tea, and this kind of thing for travelers who are taking a long trip somewhere. Truckers, doesn't matter who it is, and we provide that. And then we also, of course, give them information on GMRS and about the club. So that is one possibility there. Again, if we can pull it off. Also, the Adopt a Highway program is another good club promotion possibility. That's something else that, again, we have to see if we can pull that off in 2021. Continuing the annual RDF challenge. And another possibility is to something, we might change the name or something, but it's assisting an operator. And I think it would be really good for the promotion of the club if we are told about a particular radio operator. Maybe they can't afford the equipment. Maybe they're out in an area that up in the mountains or something like that. They can't get the equipment set up right. Maybe they're disabled, something like that. Somebody who basically needs some real help, and we could kind of adopt that person and help them out, try to get them either some cheap or free radio equipment that's good radio equipment, not just a portable, but something that's good. Set up their antenna, and then this would be good for them, and it would be good for promotion for the club as well. So because this is the type of story that actual news media likes to, put out there. So that's another possibility. So we can think about doing some of this during the year.
And speaking of news media,
Yes, sir.
my neighbor is a producer for 3TV.
Oh.
Lisa Fuller McGee.
Oh yeah.
And if you were to assemble some sort of promotional material, I could talk to her about maybe getting that incorporated into some of their interests for the program, a blurb.
Oh yeah, sure. That would be great. Yeah. Don't send me email or something. Don't let me forget that, because that's a good idea. This year has been one of those really. The whole year's been like such a really busy news year. I mean, it's hard to get anything else in there besides, COVID and the election and everything else going on. But hopefully in 2021 that will change, and we can get some more promotion for the club in there. Okay, and we want to continue to expand our repeaters. There are currently 9 repeaters available to members, either usually through an agreement, either the White Tanks repeater, which we actually pay for, or through an agreement with other owners of repeaters, and we really appreciate them. I'll tell you what. So we want to try and increase that, and then let me end with the linking. Okay, so then we want to have, and this has been mentioned before, we want to have a basic two-way radio course, and that can be in the future a regular in-person course, and possibly a video course as well, that will be available on the internet, and will include videos on different subjects, FCC regulations, talk about radio theory, coverage, the difference between GMRS and ham radio, the different grades of equipment like consumer, commercial, professional grades, so that people who are trying to get the right equipment that they need, we can talk about, what's the best equipment to get for what they need, and that kind of thing. So that's another thing that we're going to work on, is getting that video done. And then last but not least, we will segue, after this, we'll segue right into Chris, because he's got a repeater and he's going to talk about the linking project. So we want to complete the linking to Scottsdale and Mesa during 2021, and of course, that will have the capability for interactive control by control operators. And, okay, so Chris, take it away.
Hi. Adam, can you bring up my camera as the pinned? And what we'll do is give you guys a quick overview and explain where we're at and where we're going with our linking project. Okay. So right here, we have one of our Vertex repeaters. This one happens to be the one that's going into Scottsdale. We have another one that was donated, that is our portable repeater. This device here is our linking hardware, Raspberry Pi and a radio interface audio board. What it's doing is it's connecting up to the White Tanks and any of our other repeater sites that we connect, and allows us to talk on one repeater, send the audio to another one, and you can hear it out, talk back and forth between repeaters. So this one I have set up as portable right now. This is WQWR942 testing on the portable repeater 600, linked to White Tanks 550. WQWR942. And I heard a 550 radio back there. But that where we're at is linking hardware is working. Scottsdale is ready to be put into place. I need to get this equipment back to Randy with Procom, and then I need to make a visit to his house to get the network set up. Basically, get it on his Wi-Fi. Everything's through a VPN, so there's no port forwarding or any of that kind of stuff. At that point, Scottsdale will be online. Now we have Frank and Brent, who have offered to link their repeaters. There's also been suggestions from club members to ask for donations to assist them in purchasing the equipment. There's also been talk that the club go ahead and purchase the equipment to get these links up and running. So that at that point, I bring it back to the board to discuss how we would like to proceed on the linking hardware for our club member shared repeaters.
What is the cost on the hardware?
I knew you were going to ask that, and I can
Just ballpark per computer. Per,
150, $200 at most.
okay. Pretty much.
Okay, well, we can discuss that and bring that up, put that on the agenda to vote on that if we want to go ahead and do that. Yep.
Any questions on the linking or how it works or anything?
So what we're, naive question here, but when you're saying linking, we're networking
Yes.
the repeaters?
Yeah, it's going over the internet.
So that's just extending, we're in pockets and whatever.
Right.
Some people.
Yeah, so if you key up on the white tanks, you're also keying up on Scottsdale. And it's we have the option of full-time linking 24/7 or like only during nets or such. We don't have to link all the time, just at certain times, or we can, either way.
And the idea of linking to Tucson with the My GMRS, that's kind of extended the national net and all that.
Yeah,
kind of-
I'm glad you brought that up. Me and Michael have been talking about getting that link up and running. I have played with it in the past. There was some issues with getting connected on their network, but I don't think it's anything that we can't overcome. So I just
So it's not a distance
no
issue?
no, it's all over the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, the internet.
Yeah, the issue for me right now is I'm in the middle of moving, so I'm working. My desk is literally size of a little coffee table right now, trying to put PC boards and programming and repeaters and everything. So everything's kind of slow right now until I get moved into my new house.
So in that scenario, through the internet, if the internet went down, then you would
Correct.
lose that connection.
That's
Right.
correct.
Yeah, the linking would be down if the internet was down.
It's the same way in theory. We've got people that are over on the east side of town. I know 2 or 3 people that are working off of mobile units or portables, and they just can't get to 550. So the idea would be once this goes up, they should be able to hit that 600, which is a lot closer to them.
What does it take to get to Tucson other than the internet, like repeaters along the way? Like,
Well, that's a good question.
Pretty much a tall tower and a Yagi.
Mm-hmm.
Some areas over in I think the Chandler Gilbert area have a line of sight to I'm drawing a blank. What's that mountain? Mount Lemon. Yes.
Yeah.
And I can talk on that direct, but it's a far shot.
I'm finding that nobody's answering it right now for some reason.
I hit it the other day from my truck, from where I live, up where Pecos Road was with 202. I actually hit the
Okay. Yep.
repeater. They said I was scratchy coming through, but I tried it and it did. So I was able to get there from the very south side.
Yeah, that area is kind of odd over there because it seems like it would be, in a hole, but it's actually kind of it's raised elevation through that area.
Yeah, if you get out away from where I live, it's the polar opposite of that. But yeah,
you hit the Tucson?
yeah, on my mobile, my 8180.
Yeah.
With 40 watts of power or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's some areas in the valley that you can hit it down there in Tucson. So
That one's area, but I'm finding that one's power too.
That's the exact reason I'm using it.
Because I live in Surprise, and I was sitting in my driveway just the other day when I was plugging in my radio, and I was keying Mount Lemon from my driveway. So, and that's power because I've got that one set right at 50 watts.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the presentation there on the linking and everything. And now we have time for comments and questions from the general membership. So if anybody has any questions about what we've been talking about so far, or any comments you want to throw in there, let us know. And anybody online as well.
Brad 437 has a question.
Okay.
On the linking, is that just basically using asterisk? And what are you using for the I see you're using a pi. I'm guessing it's like a pi 3. What board are you using for, like a URI board or what?
Yes, we're using ham VoIP with a private node setup, OpenVPN, and for the audio and push to talk controls, I'm looking it up here. It is Master
Communications.
Yeah, I think that's who it is. Master Communications. It's boards.
Cool. Yeah, I use an RA30. I put it together myself for one of my All-Star links. It works nice. If Frank or Brent needs the cost of those two boards, basically the Pi and the communications board, I'll be happy to foot the bill for that if they need that covered.
Okay, excellent.
That's awesome.
We'll pass that on.
What was that?
So Brad is offering to purchase the Raspberry Pi and the communication boards for Brent and Frank.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, that's excellent.
Well, actually just one.
Oh, just one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just one.
I'll take care of the other one.
Okay, and Michael will take care of the other one.
Well, that's great.
Thanks, Michael.
Very good. Really appreciate that. Now, any other comments or questions?
I know you guys have been up in the White Tanks repeater doing some work. What's the latest, greatest on that one?
Yes. Me and Michael, thank you, Michael, for dealing with that washboard road. He was not happy with me with taking his truck up the first part of that.
Yeah, it was a 2-hour drive up there.
No, way better than what it was. In a vehicle, it's 2 hours.
We timed it because we had to make 2 trips up there. After we got down, we were told that something didn't come back up right. So we had to make another trip back up there the same day. So we timed it 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Using an ATV.
Yeah. Yeah, ATV was much better.
Oh yeah, I can imagine using a full size or something. That would be, yeah, that not a good road.
I still remember the video that he did of it going up that one time, and that where the edge is.
Yeah.
And you're going around the corner, and the edge is like right there, and I'm like, mm-mm.
I can beat that even now. I went up with Randy one time, and one of his front wheels went off the edge of them. He was going so fast coming back down. We actually, one of my road cases took a tumble. We flying down the back roads there. One of the straps snapped, and I looked back and it's like, wait a second, we're missing some stuff. Luckily, it was how far back?
Oh, not very short distance, yeah.
So we got lucky there.
Like, oh man, where'd that fall off?
Luckily, it was in a road case, so everything was protected. But
yeah, that was interesting.
Fun trips.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so what we ended up accomplishing up there was the generator was in a error mode. We reset that for Randy, got that back to auto mode with no issues. Replaced a ton of fans. Didn't have the exact right fans. That was my bad for not having that documented properly.
More in the controllers than the server.
Yeah.
Or the repeater.
Yeah. And then, so we got the cooling happening again in the computer cases. The Raspberry Pi is not overheating now. Network's not overheating. We had our stuff fixed. We thought everything was happy. And then once I got back afterwards and testing, the network was still acting up. And it turned out to be an issue with a network switch on another gentleman's equipment that we go through for the internet up there, and he ended up making a trip and getting us at least up and running for now on his backhaul that goes through just about every mountain in Arizona and ends in Payson. before it hits the internet. So, but we're up and running at least with the internet again, not fast, but
Oh, and we replaced the repeater actually.
oh yeah, we ended up swapping out the repeater. Randy had noticed that it sounded a little funny. He wasn't getting full strength at his office, so he gave us the spare repeater. That's part of what our monthly fee covers is equipment for that on repeater side of stuff. Went up there, used his big old test set, and it was on, what was it putting out, like
18 watts,
18 watts
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
So, and it was set to 40 originally. So we replaced it, and I think we're 38. So we're back up to full power on the output side of what we want to put out. We don't push the full 50 on the white tanks repeater. There's no need for it. The antenna gives us enough decibel gain. And we got excellent coverage. So we pull it back a little bit just to save the radio.
Yeah, very good. Okay, and we really appreciate you guys for going up there and taking care of that stuff. Okay. Any other comments or questions for the meeting? No? Okay, well, now we have time for a break.
Yay.
Okay.
How long is the break?
I don't know, what, 10 minutes?
Long enough to get up and use the restroom.
Bio break.
Why I went early.
You took your break early, Bob.
That's right. Take them when you can get them, you know that.
Up the hallway and to the right.
Ask the refrigerator.
Not outside the door, please.
Yeah.
Yes. So Chris, let me know and
Okay, I'll send you the.
how much you need or whatever you need. And
Okay. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
already
like
bought 3 of them as it is.
let's get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, I got this little cover right here.
Yeah. Let's get her done because we got
I like
quite
to have
a few
better-
people on the
nicer-
east side of town.
Yeah, see, I just wondered about that linking. There's a couple of guys that get on there. Either 600 or the 525.
Okay.
They just talk. And
Yeah,
talk,
they
and
can
talk.
take them that you just-
I think
Well-
a couple of truckers.
Well, that's Matt and Paul for the most part. Matt's actually one of our members.
Yeah.
Paul actually used to be one of our members. Good guys. And you know, they've got a group that involves a lot of people up in Flagstaff, or not Flagstaff, but Payson.
Okay.
And Payson's just loving that thing. Those guys are on there all the time. So 575, most of them moved over to 600, but they still jump on 575 from time to time.
Sometimes I got to lock them out on the monitor. Just locks it up for so long.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They're using it. So
Yeah.
there's, and I don't mind those guys, but there is one guy on there that he will literally time out the repeater every time he gets on there. I'm going, dude, and literally times it out during an explanation. I'm going, what?
That's why we have to change the channel up on the-
It's like,
on
and
Tuesdays to-
it's not like he has any differences of tone. He sounds like an old ham guy. To be honest with you, he sounds like an old ham guy, and he just talks
Yeah.
We need to ship them in egg timer.
until the radio goes dead.
What's the timeout on our repeater on the 550?
Oh, I don't know. What is the timeout, Chris, on the repeater?
We will officially say 1 minute. There might be an extra 10 seconds.
Yeah, I've hit it a couple, once or twice.
A minute. Shocked, I haven't timed it out. It's net control then.
I have.
Yeah, I have, and nobody's told me.
I'm trying to, I try to figure out if I've had it a couple times, but I'm not sure if I'm timing out the repeater or if I'm timing out my own machine. So. Yeah, I try not to. 1 minute, it's a long time. You know, when you think about it, it doesn't sound like a lot, but 1 minute is a long time. dude.
Yeah, unless you're like that guy up there pacing, and he just goes on and on.
And that's where that guy lives.
I bet you it's an old ham because they get.
He does. He sounds like an old ham because he gets it. Yeah, because he talks about this old equipment, and he's just got to explain the inner workings of it, and he just drones on and on. And the guys are nice, you know, they don't say anything, but it's just a good thing he doesn't come on very often. But yeah, they're good guys. They're really good guys.
Oh, yeah.
I want to buy something from my price or studio.
So I'm taking after.
Yeah, so
I'm thinking sometime
That's when
in
using
January, maybe February.
Good setup.
I'm taking I have a friend that lives in Flagstaff. I've been talking to him. He's kind of like Central Flagstaff, like around 4th, you know, where Flagstaff has range, like 4th Street, 4th Avenue, 4th Street. Kind of lives just up a little bit. He's got a townhouse, and so I've been trying to talk him into putting up a repeater. So, my repeater. So I'm going up in January, and he's all for it, and he's got internet, so he's into linking it too. So I'm going to take one up. I told him I'm going to bring it up in my trailer because just instead of going to the work and putting it on his house, I'm going to take it up in my trailer because I've got my external antenna that I can push up pretty high and get it in his neighborhood. And I told him we're going to test it out and see what kind of range we got. I'm anticipating we're going to be able to cover virtually the whole city of Flagstaff from his area. So, but if that works good, then we'll at least have one repeater up there.
Yeah, because that one guy up there is just.
He's on. Yeah.
So we've got we want to get another one up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All my gear together, right?
Yeah, and
Like I even went TR.
you know, even you'd love to get it on one of those mountaintops, but
Oh no.
I don't foresee that happening. So
Yeah.
that's just
lives right outside of Vegas, so.
you got some hams that don't want to share. You know, that's predominantly most of it. They don't want to share. So.
But they have their own tower and.
Oh, there's several ham stations up on those mountains. They're just not open to sharing.
And you're not talking about sharing their equipment,
No.
just the tower.
Location, yeah, just the location on top of that mountain.
And is there some interference or something? Is there any downside to them sharing? They just don't want anyone to.
Pretty much. Yep, pretty much. It's pretty much the same old story. A lot of hams don't think GMRS is worthwhile, and
They don't want to have anything to do with it.
really, literally, don't want to have anything to do with it. So, would it interfere with their stuff? No, wouldn't interfere with
They
their
don't want
stuff.
anything to do with it or anyone. Huh? They don't want to do it.
Exactly.
Like you said, not on their
Exactly.
property.
Yep. Yeah, there's several of them that have prime locations, but
Oh, yeah.
there's just,
Not even for a revenue, or they couldn't do that, or they can do that.
oh, I'm sure
They could
they could
charge.
do that, couldn't they? I'm sure they could come up with a lease or something, but they're not interested.
No, just
They're
not.
just not interested. Which is a shame up in that area because there's some pretty good
What
sized
area were
mountains
you
up there.
talking about?
Flagstaff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
we have
really
virtually
like to
nothing
get
in
one
Flag.
up in Flagstaff and up on Mount Ord, which is kind of like on the way to Payson. That
So
would be a
that just
great,
opens everything up.
that would be great to have one up there.
And then again, back to Tucson, short of the internet, I'm not that, I've been here in Tucson a number of times on what, I-10, right? So I don't know the area like you all know it.
There's a lot of repeaters down in Tucson. There's a lot of them.
Right, now, I did go to my GMRS and you can.
There's
see repeaters there.
There's 2 or 3 really big ones, and then there's a lot of smaller ones like in Sierra Vista, Arizona City. A lot of coverage down there.
And so the distance here, if you had a repeater like in the middle,
Yeah, the only thing that
But
I'm
you
not
need the
sure of
height?
is how I would run the cable.
which is the tower or on a mountainside.
But yeah,
Yeah, but
I
we've
always-
got like,
the house I'm at,
we're kind of in this valley, so we're kind of cut off until you get out of the valley and get out on that road towards Tucson. You got all these mountains that there's like a funnel
Yeah.
that you got to get through to get to Tucson. So you got like South Mountain kind of cuts you off for the most part until you get around the other side of South Mountain.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to look at Google Earth to kind
Yeah.
of like get a sense of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Find a small antenna.
Yeah,
So-
but once you get past South Mountain and you get on the I-10 and you head down there, you, a lot of there, you can get into,
But you
Oh,
can't,
yeah.
so you can't be
Lemon.
on South Mountain? Couldn't,
Ooh, we wouldn't even want to try to get on South
Yeah,
Mountain.
you don't want to be on South Mountain.
It's all TV and radio up there.
that's where those broadcast stations are that are putting out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of watts. And
That's why I can't get out of there.
Yeah. Right.
oh,
It just across the spectrum. It just wipes everything.
yeah, and
out.
that, I don't know enough to understand it, but I appreciate that,
Mhm.
all the interference and
Oh,
too
yeah.
much power going on and
Yeah.
Is there a-
So, what's east?
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah,
there's something
just
east.
a lot.
What
and
if,
big time.
Yeah, well, there is mountains on the other side, on the east side of town. Well, but there's really nothing
what is that
east of us that,
So when you go east of Apache Junction and you're entering,
Gold Canyon.
well, just as you leave Apache, and I guess if you're going to Roosevelt Lake or something, but there's that campground and there's the Iron Flat or the, I think it's the entrance of,
Like I would totally laugh. It's like, oh, let me put on my traffic down. Oh wait, let me put my.
no,
my
I'm
other
talking
down.
just
Okay,
right
let's
outside of,
forget.
as soon as you leave Apache Junction,
Hey, wouldn't that be cool? Like, I
and
show up
you're
wearing,
on
like,
that highway, I don't know
hat
what,
from my
I don't
top
remember the
down,
highway,
like,
but
my
I've
top
camped
tiara,
out
like,
there
I'm doing
at this
both, like,
campground.
yeah.
It's an awesome campground.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally right outside of Apache Junction. And then there's the Iron Flats. You hike up to the Iron Flats.
Well, this year has been,
so it's either, well, there you have Highway 16, you have 188 in that area.
you know.
So it must be one of those two.
just ruined my family.
Yeah, so you guys, so the Iron Flat doesn't ring a bell, or the flats?
Tortilla Flats, I know that one, but
Yeah, not an iron.
not thinking of it.
So I gotta give you the campground, because that would ring a bell. Anyways, I just figured it's on the east side. You're up there, and I would imagine that you have some shot from Tucson to Tucson, but maybe you don't.
good, it's possible.
Might, yeah.
It's the entrance of Superstition Mountains here, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but out in there, you could even, there's a possibility you could even hit towers from out there. From out in that
yeah,
area.
you know what?
You should be able to hit towers or 600 from
Actually,
out
now
there.
that you say that, your website, I found that place where you can turn the different
Mhm.
repeaters on, and you have the green kind of showing what you're covering.
Yep.
And
Towers is not on that map. That's not our repeater, but it's one that you have access to.
right, but the one that's where the 550 is here, what is it called?
White tanks?
Yeah, White Tanks. That shoots right into this campground that I
Oh
was.
yeah, that white tanks. I can hit that on a handheld, 5 watts or probably 4 watts, and I was deep in Apache Junction.
So I'm talking Highway 60.
Where I am.
So you're going out on 60.
Works great everywhere except where I'm living right now. I'm right at the base of the white tanks at my mom's in the shadow, and it's
Oh, I walk out to the end of my driveway, I look west and I can see the whole antenna array up there.
yeah. I can see the big government towers, but then there's a mountain, a little peak.
Yeah.
That's right in between me and our towers.
You're getting quite a ways away from it, but when you're out in that area, but
I'm so close. I've even got a intermod a couple of times from White Tanks. I couldn't believe it. What the heck is it?
Yeah.
Now all I have to do is go about a mile or two, and I can hit it just fine.
Yeah.
Anywhere from right where my mom is.
So I would think, I mean, you got Tucson here,
mhm.
and you
The
got
white tent or Whitman.
basically Apache
They, I
Junction
just
too.
see those towers
So
so
you guys have,
perfectly.
I mean, if you had something up here that
No,
would
it's that little
point,
thing. Next time you're up there.
I only got to put up with it.
Have
for
you
a few
looked
more
at
months.
my GMRS?
Once I get to Whitman, I'm good.
Okay.
Have you looked on my GMRS?
Yeah.
There is, there is a repeater up there someplace. It's not a big one, but there is a small repeater up there. I don't remember the town.
Oh,
out in that area, right in that
and
area.
and that one, if it was strong enough
It's probably not a linked repeater.
or someone that's interested in linking.
Wouldn't that be nice? I don't know. There's several of them up there that are in that area that are with the Tucson GMRS group, and they're all linked. Most of them are linked on the My GMRS.
And they're at a place they could link this way?
I don't know. I had this. one.
If we were on that My GMRS link, yeah, they're
Try
off.
to keep
They're
that
part of the
separate.
southwest region. My GMRS has the southwest region. Right now, most about the only ones on the Arizona, the only ones on there is Tucson, Tucson area.
Right.
But there's also Texas and Nevada.
Right.
Those are all on that My GMRS network.
But this repeater that you're talking about that's up in that area, that they're part of Tucson.
Yeah, I don't know if it's up in there. I'll have to look again. It's up in that area. I just don't know if it's on the My GMRS link or not.
Okay.
There you go. Oh.
Have to find out if it's part of their network.
I'm voting
Go on
for
to
Jeff
look up Tucson GMRS.
533.
Just go to their website.
On his
Just go to
Right,
Tucson
right.
GMRS and they'll show you their
Proxy.
connected repeaters.
Right. And so the question is, of all their repeaters that are connected, is one of them at a place that could link to yours here?
Absolutely, if we join the My GMRS link.
And that's what's stopping that? Is that a
That's
cost?
something we've
Is
been
that
talking about.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Jay is asking a question, Jay Powell. Did anyone check with Queen Creek? They used to have a GMRS repeater up on the tall towers out there. Anybody aware of those?
Nope.
Who
No.
asked the question?
Jay Powell.
We
And what
can
was
look
the
into
question?
that.
Did anyone check with Queen Creek? They used to have a GMRS repeater.
The city?
Jay, do you have any more details on that? This is off of YouTube.
If it has information, then we can check into it.
I think they had a lot of help on chapter growth and education.
So are we done with Jay?
2 seconds. Come on, mouse. Okay. So, oh, there we go. Jay just responded. The town of Queen Creek used to have a repeater, a GMRS repeater. So the town themselves.
Town?
So
How would that work? Must be old grandfathered one?
Yeah, that's the only way it would work. It'd have to be a grandfather. So, yeah,
That'd
the
be an
only grandfathered license that I'm aware of that an organization has in Arizona that's actually in effect right now is a school district in Gilbert. For some reason, they have one.
Well,
Okay.
he said Jay's offering to make some inquiries with the people there, in that group.
Okay, I appreciate it, Jay. Very good. Did we have any other?
No, that's it
comments
for
or
right
anything?
now.
Okay, well, next on the agenda then, we'll go ahead and get started again, is the election of the executive officers and the board. And again, everyone is on the edge of their seats on this one because, you know.
Because of all the choices.
Right, all the choices there are. I
You
mean,
never know, because this election could turn into like the presidential one where there's a bunch of write-ins
Oh,
for Rick
let's
Astley.
not go there.
no. So we will let the secretary determine who the winners are. But
They did.
More than one.
See what you're saying.
this is an official meeting. Let's don't start that.
Yeah. Don't go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
So everything's status quo, huh?
Now, I did have a question about the voting. I know you just turned in a vote sheet for the person that you have proxy for.
Mhm.
Do we have anyone else
All
that you're
everybody
proxying?
turned in ballots that.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
make
should
sure-
I have turned in 5 of them then?
You have
Yeah, if,
proxies.
I didn't turn in. I only turned in 1 for me.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, are all of those people voting the same way as you?
Absolutely, they are.
Okay, then I will put you times 5 then.
So are the rest of us.
That's why they put my name at the top.
Okay, well,
We're recording this just in case.
This is on YouTube. Somebody out there is watching.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
oh
Wait till those people get back and find out one of them's the activity officer now.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You won the election.
By a narrow margin.
well, there's actually 6 proxies on you.
Yes.
So
Okay.
it'll be you times 6.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, and then all my proxies turned in ballots.
Yeah.
One of those ballots did not have the name on it.
Yeah.
Did you mark that down from the envelope?
No. I didn't.
Okay, I'll get with you, and I know which one it is when I see the envelope. Just so we mark that right. I did not get a ballot. Did
Oh,
we already do
My
ballots? or-
bad. No. Sorry, I thought you printed
Are
one
you
for
gonna vote for
yourself
me?
or something. So.
Because I voted for you.
Yeah, if you're gonna vote for me, I'm gonna build a wall, you know, so
Okay.
just so you know.
I voted
Of
for you,
course,
Chris.
mine is gonna be around Washington DC. But
Actually, let me just steal one of your pens so that way I can. There we go.
Hey, you gotta enjoy it. You gotta enjoy the time.
Oh, this is so tough.
I know decisions.
yeah, yeah.
No nominations from the floor.
No, those should have been determined a long time
Yeah,
ago.
we
Yeah.
brought that up a while back. I was I was disappointed that there wasn't anybody else running against on these. I love to be treasurer,
Adam, did you need?
but at the same time, I don't mind if somebody else wanted to.
I'm sure. Yeah.
You're one of those people designated an essential.
You can
cog.
start promoting that in about a year and a half.
Exactly, exactly.
Yep.
So I want that to be known that if you want a position, go for it.
Yep.
And I mean, the ballots technically, I don't care if the name is on it or not because it's kind of anonymous when you do it that way anyway. So it's like all my job is to just count
Right.
how many there are.
Yeah, it was for keeping track of the mail-in ones.
Yeah, no worries.
Make sure those were all
Yeah.
accounted
I
for.
have the.
Don't want.
I know, right? Thank you. Okay, so I get a minute to tally all this stuff.
Sure.
Cool.
What is the automatic recount margin, just in case?
0.1%, whatever that is. Okay. Well, let's get started here. Well, I guess I can't get started because you've got to get finished doing your tallying.
Yes.
So we'll just wait a second here.
Jeopardy thing. That's what we need.
That is what we need. Yeah, you're right. Just in case, just in case there was a write-in, then, you got to look through them.
Now we need Carly Simon Anticipation playing in the background.
Yep.
Problem is, for the write-ins, they would have to
Adam?
have submitted
can be
before.
arranged.
We could do that.
You got that track?
Yeah.
I heard Jeopardy music first.
Yeah.
Eastbound and down. I'm sure there's inappropriate music out there. I digress.
All right, official and done.
Okay, now before she gives the official results, technically I need to ask if there's anyone who wants to nominate someone who is not listed on the ballot. Okay, nothing heard. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so everyone was voted back in with a margin of 21-0.
Actually, Tim is the new.
Well,
Matt
sure.
was giving
Well,
up
I
his
meant everybody
position.
who was
Yeah.
actually running because nobody ran
Yeah.
against him.
Right.
So
Just clarifying
yes,
for
you're right though.
YouTube.
So Gary is still president. Woo! Michael is vice president. I'm secretary. He's treasurer, and we do now have Tim as the communications officer, certified.
Very good.
And I don't think you're ever going to have any problem with the secretary.
No, I don't think
Nobody wants.
You
no
know-
one is going to be running against you.
I don't know.
because,
That secretary, she's shady. You know.
you know, yeah, you really
Trying to
get
keep
that
up with
job
all our
done. So
crazy nonsense.
I know, right?
the officers will officially take their office in January 1st. But then we already have it, so yeah.
At least
Okay.
we save money on the transfer
So I
cost.
get a new
There you
office.
go.
And
I get a new limo. I don't know about you, but
Then so Tim starts January 1st.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought.
so Tim starts January 1st. He will be the communications officer. And we welcome him to the board because he'll also be on the board.
Yeah.
And speaking of the board, let's start the meeting. Okay, now the first item on old business is the recommended liability insurance company. And we've already kind of discussed this before. We want to have liability insurance for when we're out there doing activities and this type of thing. The liability insurance is not like health insurance. It's nothing like that. It's just like if something happens and we're doing a safety break out somewhere at one of the rest areas and we had an electric wire out there, somebody tripped over it and hurt themselves and decided to sue us or sue the state, then we would have insurance that would cover that. That's what the liability insurance is for. And also if we do any activities on state-owned land, rest areas, or anything like that, they require that we have that insurance. So we have to have it for that reason. Now, the thing that I wanted to talk about, though, is the fact that I did a little bit of research on these two. Now, the Arizona group, their cost for liability insurance for the club is $291 annually. That provides $1 million in general liability insurance, $5,000 per person medical. And they're the agent that sells the insurance. The carrier of the insurance has a better business rating of a D. Then we have the other one that I got a quote from, the Insurance Brokers of Arizona. Their cost is $395 annually. It also provides $1 million in general liability insurance, $5,000 per person medical, and they have a Better Business Bureau rating of a C-.
How much was that one?
$395.
$395 annually.
And what was the broker again?
Insurance Brokers of Arizona.
Okay. And
And-
the BB ratings are for the carrier, not for the company.
They are for the carrier,
Okay.
right? They're not for the agent.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna chime in here with my expertise, being that I am in the industry, and
Yeah.
just tell you, Better Business Bureau rating is not quite as telling as like
Best
you're
rating?
actually, yeah, the AM Best rating and stuff. So we really need to look at who's higher there because that's gonna tell who can pay their claims. So business is a little less important
Mhm.
than that. I'll just put that out there.
Okay.
So
So,
I
should
can-
we
I
then
can
wait, if
probably
we
look
wait
that
until
up
the
if
next
you-
meeting to,
Is it something we can look up right now?
He
when-
doesn't have the names of the carriers with him, otherwise I would have looked it up.
I
I thought we had that.
well, let me see.
Because
I
if
saw-
I
just
can
saw
look it
that.
up right now, I will tell you guys exactly who it is.
Yeah, I think the last meeting I sent out an email with that information to the board.
If someone still has that
So,
available and can
you
tell
might
me,
be
I
able
will
to
look
find it.
up.
You're only talking liability insurance. You're not talking about any of your own property coverages because you're self-insuring to the property.
Right.
Yeah.
And no officers?
No officer insurance at this point because it's just, it might be in the future, but not at this point.
It's just protecting the organization.
Mhm. Yeah. So if somebody can find that, we can find the carriers.
Yeah, because I will look that up.
Because otherwise, if we don't take the action out and approve one of these to go ahead and get the insurance, then we kind of have to wait until the next meeting, which is another, won't be until March,
And it won't
probably.
start January 1st. So.
Mhm. But it's one of those kind of things that you just kind of now in this you know time you kind of have to have insurance for things. So
Yeah, for sure.
just the way it is.
Well, here we go. All right, so first one is from Philadelphia Insurance Companies.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
That's the 291 or?
Yes.
Okay. And then what's the other one?
Come on, phone. You can do it. Insurance Brokers of Arizona in Gilbert.
No, that's the
That's the agency.
Oh, I'm sorry.
agent.
Yeah, that's the agency.
Okay, the carrier is United States Liability Insurance Company for $395.
Okay.
And they have a best rating of A++ on their report.
Okay, so we already got
Let me
that.
look
so
at the
that's-
other one again.
That's good.
Pull that up. Let's see.
They're also A++.
Okay, the Philadelphia.
Yep, I just got that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
So
that makes it pretty easy.
Yeah, then you
a
just
clear
go
choice
with
right there.
the
Go with the cheaper
least
one.
cost one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Cool.
Are we?
What would explain that premium difference? Just the agency, their markup, and
Yeah, I mean, basically, usually it all comes down to underwriting and how they view the particular risk of who's applying and so forth. So depending on what information they ask you for, they're gonna run that through their little thing and it's gonna spit out a general number. So apparently one of them considers that to be a larger risk than the other. Since they both have equal ratings, I would say go with the cheaper one because it just makes sense all the way around. So
Yeah, somebody might be one of the underwriter classifications has us listed under tower climber, so it's more common. I don't know.
yeah, I mean,
There's something weird in the
because
background.
You remember how we were talking about that one area where the organization is technically misclassified? That might play into how that's
Okay.
reading on the underwriting side. So
Okay, it's 3:07, so let's get rolling here.
okay.
So is there a motion of the board to go ahead and approve
make that
Arizona Group for
motion.
insurance? Yeah, I'm not sure who had the motion first, but
I yelled,
Yeah.
so I get
Boom,
it.
boom.
okay. So she has it first.
Michael second.
Michael second. Any discussion? And this is for the board only. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we've got that one taken care of. Then the next item on the old business list is the discussion and action for the approval, postponement, or the cancellation of activities for 2021. So, and the activities that we've already discussed earlier, safety breaks, the Adopt a Highway program, and this type of thing, where we're actually going to be doing activities and the RDF challenge. So the board has the opportunity to vote on it at this point to go ahead, and as long as it's not restricted, I think as long as it's not restricted by the the governor's executive orders or something like that, I think we should look at go ahead and going forward with these things. That's what I think. Anyone have a motion on that?
I do.
Okay, so Desiree has a motion, second.
I would second.
Mike has a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And motion carried. Okay. Then the next item on the agenda here is,
Can I ask a question really
Sure.
quick before we move on from that? Is there any word about the Buckeye Marathon this year? Because I mean, it's like literally usually that time of year, and we would be seeing the sign up.
yeah, I
Well,
spoke, I had contact with, I emailed them, our contact with the Buckeye Marathon, and it has been completely canceled. So unfortunately, I figured that would happen, but that is what happened. So we won't be able to do that.
Okay.
Can't run with a mask.
You can. It's just
Not very
really
far.
great.
So the next item we have is doing more emphasis on member education and ESG training, and doing some online training if we can get that worked out. We have a motion on that.
Aye.
Okay. We have Chris with a motion, second.
Second.
Mike seconded. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All
Aye.
opposed? Motion carried. And now
It
we
was
get,
on ESG training, right?
Yes.
Okay.
well, on
That and club
just
overall.
club training too.
Okay.
And the new business, the secretary's certified election results.
Stamped.
And
Check.
we're all
Sounds
in
official.
anticipation.
Yes.
Okay.
Any hanging chads?
Nope.
Thank
And there's no hanging Karens either.
Oh, thank goodness.
That was a good one.
Okay. Okay, so we, as the secretary has mentioned before, she has given the results of the election, and that will be put in the minutes. And that the officers will take effect in January 1st next year. Okay. And the changes to the policy and procedures manual, I didn't have any suggested changes, so we don't have to vote on that. And one thing is, I think that would probably be a good idea is for the club to take ownership and start paying for our websites. We have two websites, the AZGRC website and the ESG website. And I think that would just be a good idea, because right now, this guy over here is paying for the AZGRC website. I'm paying for the ESG website, and it would be a good idea, not just for that reason, but for the reason of control. Because if something happens to me, does anybody else know the passwords and everything to get into the website to change it? No. So we really need to get the ownership of the websites, I think, switched over to the club and get that all settled. So,
And what is the cost?
Hosting is $30 a year.
Okay.
Domains are about like $8 a year.
Right. Mhm.
We got a few of those. SSL certificate, another $30 a year.
Sounds right.
I think that's it on the website stuff.
And what's the one you got, Gary?
that probably works out to about $30 a month.
A month?
Yep.
A month?
A month?
Yeah.
Is there a distinction between having a domain name and all that stuff versus the actual website? 'Cause that sounds like what you're saying you're paying for is.
Yeah, I'm paying for that
The
includes the
website.
domain name and the
Right.
website hosting, and an editor to change the website and all that kind of stuff. So.
Chris, you must be doing that on your own, huh?
Right now, the hosting, it was my original hosting, so I splintered it off. But it's, I get a heck of a deal because my mom used to work for GoDaddy, so I get the at cost type pricing. So and all mine is built from scratch type stuff, so that's where the savings is.
So what did you add that up?
No, I was just,
Oh, okay.
and
What we probably need to do, because I won't be able to do it right now, get the exact pricing. We need to come up with the exact numbers. So we'll have to push that to the next meeting.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because just off
I'll
the
get
top
the
of my head,
exact.
yours would be like 360 a year. I don't know about that, so.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and
all
postpone
along
that.
those same lines. Do we have a user, or can we create a user that we can assign to those accounts? A club user, email.
Yeah, for the hosting accounts and
something
stuff.
generic that we can.
Yeah, I already have the domains in a club only account, so yeah, I'll get a I'll share that with the board.
Okay.
On the topic, Gary, and I don't mean to step on toes, so stop me if I am or whatnot. For the site you created, is it something we can just wrap into the hosting that we already have and recreate without having to? Since it sounds like yours is a high cost, would be something we can recreate.
Well, let me look at the cost again. It might not be as much as I'm thinking, but
okay, let's get all our info together and
yeah,
see.
we'll get it all together. But it's really, I like it because it's really
easy.
You know, there's no programming. It's easy to do.
Because I do have a license for a thing called SiteCake, which can do a lot of things too. That it's just like drag and drop, and there's a bunch of different things out there. That just trying to save where we can and whatnot.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we'll postpone that
Table
to the
that.
next meeting. And then next we have review and payment of bills.
We have one repeater bill. It's already approved to pay. I'll get that taken care of this weekend and get that check off to Randy.
Okay, and that's like 290.
292. Yeah, I just closed it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, about 291, 292. Okay. And that is pre-approved bill. Then we have review and approval of any member applications.
Okay, does anyone who hasn't already given approval on the website want to give approval to the 4 people that are pending right now so that we can get?
There's I think only one that needs one additional approval.
Okay.
One of the other regular member, Michael, is emailed with a question on their application.
Oh,
the
I know which one that is. They're going to be good.
Okay, yeah,
that's his mom.
Okay.
That was the one with a different address or different name.
Right.
I just had to ask the question because I saw that the last name was the same, so I thought it was something like that, like
I talked
to your mom.
Yeah, I've talked to him, and yeah, that's his mom.
Yeah, well, it's in the email.
But she's not going to be a voting member.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
So yeah.
Cool.
So that's fine then. The transients, one was from August. We had to hold off on because I couldn't program the repeater. The internet was down. So now we have that back. And I was holding off to this meeting to make sure nothing was going to change on transients, which is not at the moment. So we can go ahead and get them processed.
So, but there is one that is still needing one more approval. So does someone who didn't already do that want to give their approval?
I don't know.
I think
which one it is.
I'll look at it.
I think it's just
I'll look
me
at it
and
as soon
you
as I get home.
on
Yeah,
that
I'll
one
look
right
at it
now.
when I get home too.
Okay.
So we'll get it approved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. And then we've got we want to look at the meeting dates and locations for the coming year. And we just like we did last time, we want to go ahead and try and select the dates at least. I don't know if we're going to have a location, but at least the dates for the coming year. One should be in March, the first one.
Let me take a look at my calendar.
I don't remember if we have or not. Has there ever been a discussion about having this particular meeting in November instead of December?
No, because they're quarterly, so that would throw everything off.
We'll just call it a quarterly.
Well, that's why we have the
Make it-
flex, that's why we have the flexibility in December. I mean, if we needed to make it the first Saturday or like this time, the second Saturday, we can do that, but it's still like to follow the process as quarterly, so.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep it like that. The March, it should be the 20th if we're gonna do the third, like we've been doing. So that would be March 20th. We
Yeah.
have to choose with that.
28th was it?
20th, 20. So then what would that be next? June, right?
I'd probably be homeless by then.
So June
Waiting
would
for my house to
be-
get done.
Camping.
June would be June 19th.
Good one.
Can't be.
June 19th.
It's a big difference.
The next one is in September.
Yep, so that would be September 18th.
Okay.
And then when we get to December, that would be tentatively the 11th if we wanted to do it early
November's-
like we are right now.
November 13th.
So, but December are possibilities if we want to do it earlier than the third week, which is usually prudent just to keep it away from Christmas travel and stuff.
I
like that,
love early.
would either be December 4th or December 11th.
I'm all over December
Choices.
4th.
Okay, so
December 4th. Okay.
let's say December 4th, I guess.
Okay. December 4th.
Earlier the better.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
So that's what we got.
Very good.
Okay.
So March meetings for next year, March 20th, June 19th, September 18th, and December 4th. Okay, very good. And are there any final comments or announcements for the club?
Yes, I have two announcements.
Very
Actually.
good.
They're just personal announcements. I was saving them till the end. I didn't figure anybody was going to say anything else.
We don't
but-
care.
Yeah, I know. You don't care, but I'm going to say it anyways. All right, so one update since the last meeting. I did successfully graduate college, summa cum laude, 4.0
Good
GPA,
job.
my bachelor's degree. Yes,
I'm not getting a cake for it.
I know. I'll put a pat on the back. And then my other announcement, I know some of you guys know this, but Michael and I are getting married April 17th, 2021 in Vegas.
Congratulations.
So if you happen to be in the Vegas area and you want to drop by the Chapel of the Flowers and say hi, that's where we'll be at 1:30.
Are you gonna be on particular frequency? Or
The love frequency.
The big question is, are you going to have an Elvis impersonator?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's actually, we're doing the gazebo venue.
What?
So
It's not on
really,
Zoom?
It's really small. They only allow 20 people usually, but with COVID restrictions right now, unless anything changes in April, it's 10. We're not even really expecting 10 people to show up. It might be more like 5 or 6, but I mean, we're cool with that. So
You won't take offense if I don't show up, right?
you're not invited.
That works out just fine.
I do want to say I wish you two the best. I really do.
I noticed on the elections that you two both had the same last name.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to connect the dots here.
Ex
Okay.
husband, ex-wife.
2021. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Right along with COVID.
Yes. So yeah, let me just say that. So the difference between the March meeting and the June meeting, y'all are gonna have to update my last name. So.
Okay, so that means that
Siblings or
we
something.
will have to update that.
Stick my foot in my mouth, put my mask on.
I hate him like a brother. If that counts.
It's all good.
I'm
So,
sophisticated.
If we have our meeting on March 20th, we won't be able to have a raffle on March 20th because March 30th is our 5-year anniversary. So we'll have to wait until June 19th. So
It's perfect time.
we'll have a raffle then.
We're gonna be eating cake.
Maybe we should
Yes.
move the meeting 10 days to the 30th or the closest weekend or whatever, and just have like a big.
You
cookout.
gotta ask Madam Secretary because she kind of
Can we do that?
makes the decisions on that.
Can we do that?
For what are we asking?
My birthday.
What's the closest weekend?
Maybe.
The 30th is when we can have a raffle, is what we're saying. Of
Okay.
March,
So what's our anniversary date?
March 30th.
March 30th.
Ex-wife's birthday.
So it would be
Speaking of exes, huh?
April 3rd.
See another
would
party.
actually be the first weekend following that.
I'm fine with that.
So
so we move it a few days off of March to April, have a big
Okay.
shindig, do a big cookout or
All right.
whatever, have a raffle.
are we suggesting moving the meeting or just doing an event? then?
Yeah.
Because I
Moving all of it.
Moving
Just
the
moving
meeting.
all of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was that date?
That'll be April 3rd.
April 3rd.
And that is going to be a really down day for me, y'all, because my father passed away that day. So just a heads up, I'm not going to be in my right frame of mind. But
We'll cheer you up.
yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
Okay, so April 3rd will be the meeting, the first meeting in 2021.
and that's going to be just a couple weeks before I leave for Vegas, y'all. So
Oh, boy.
Send off party.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Very good. So, any other further discussions or announcements? Yes, sir.
Pyramid Studios was happy to have everybody, and at the moment, all the dates that have been discussed so far are still available on our calendar, so we would be happy to have everybody again if necessary.
Very good. We really appreciate that.
You know what? So could we go ahead and schedule for April 3rd here?
Well, but
a good place for a
we're gonna
party.
have food, so we have to see if that would be okay,
We got that big
No.
place outside.
so.
If April 3rd, it's gonna be, it's like one of those special days, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be our 5th anniversary
Yes.
and all that. Why not see if we get like a one of the forest
Catering?
preserves or campgrounds or whatever, and just, like I say, have a big cookout. And
That would be excellent, actually.
Well,
make a
let's,
party.
yeah, we don't have to
Have
decide, we don't have to decide today. We can look at it and see what we want to
Yeah.
do. So,
That'd be great if we had an activities person. Desiree, you want to
Yeah.
fill in?
No.
no, she doesn't.
Okay, never mind.
I knew that answer. I knew
You
that.
have to ask, you know? You
Okay.
have to ask.
Okay, very good. Any other comments, questions, suggestions?
When are we going to know the location of the next meeting? Because that is important. Like, is anyone going to be working on that?
Yeah,
following up
we'll,
on
we'll
it?
be talking about it. We'll be talking about it, so
Probably
we'll
on the
figure it
nets
out.
and stuff would be a good time to talk about it.
The
On
what?
net, to talk about the location of the,
Oh,
Does that
yeah.
mean you're going to be on the net?
no, I'll be visiting. I'll
Oh,
listen on
boy.
there.
I tried.
Yeah, I know, you
Yeah,
tried.
We'll see all that.
I got to use
Yeah.
using FRS radios at least around the farm. So.
Okay, well, that's
We're working our way up.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
same thing.
It's the
Not
call
much
sign
difference.
part that should got to get
Okay.
that hammered in.
So we're going to be talking
You
about
just
that.
stick it on the side of the radio.
We're going to be figuring it out.
That's what I told him, if you put the radio in my car, just make sure you put a sticker there with the call.
I even have a label on mine to remember it.
Label on mine.
Yeah.
It took me a week to learn my new one.
Okay, great. Well, we'll figure out the location of the first meeting in 2021, and we'll talk about it on the nets or anywhere else we need to. So, if nothing else, we'll go ahead and close it up. And I appreciate everybody that was here and everybody that was online. And motion to
Right here.
go ahead and close the
You
meeting.
got a second.
And he has second.
He's like,
Okay,
"Never let
discussion.
me be first."
All in favor?
I
Aye.
All opposed?
What, don't say that.
Motion carried. All right.
It's 3:27.
I gotta run. I'm gonna get up there before anybody else does.
Okay, perfect.
nice seeing you, Mike.
Oh,
All
man.
right, and I didn't have to
Yeah.
start a new piece of paper, so ninja skills.
Going through all my radios.
Yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a 370.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I got like.
All right. Thanks everybody on our Google meeting and YouTube. Appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Oh,
I got a quick question. Is the 550 operational for the Dell link?
My number on there, if you ever want to call me. So.
Okay.
Must have been quite a setup here to get all the gear here and lay it all out. We had no